All right, CJax dropped a video like 1 or 2 days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago, and it's about Roman Reigns. So it's crazy how he's talking about Roman Reigns when he wanted Roman Reigns to come back. But here's a reason why it's not looking good based off his opinion on Roman Reigns.
The Roman Reigns OTC arc has been disappointing, it has been underwhelming, and some could say you could easily make the argument this has been absolute garbage and a disaster so far. And I know some of you are probably like, wow, CJax is talking about Roman like this? Yes, I am, okay? Even though Roman is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time without a shadow of a doubt, he got me back into wrestling right in 2023. I understand all of that. Obviously, since Cena, Roman Reigns is by far the biggest draw, the biggest attraction, the best and biggest superstar that they've gotten, and he basically revived WWE, you know what I'm saying, when he was the head of the table, you know, the head of their company, basically, right? You know, he battled through leukemia over the years to give us these amazing performances, this all-time great championship reign he had, etc., right? Respect for Roman is through the roof. He's always going to be one of my favorites and one of the greatest of all time. However, this OTC arc was supposed to be a massive redemption arc. Right after Mania 40, when he lost to Cody Rhodes, Triple H was saying, expect something epic, right? Or he said something like, you guys aren't ready for what's about to come next, you know what I'm saying, with Roman Reigns. It's going to be pretty exciting. Well, guess what happened? Roman Reigns took a 4-month break, right? He came back at SummerSlam and proceeded to have one of the middest arcs and comebacks of all time. And it's absolutely mind-boggling to me because Roman Reigns is easily, right, easily the best star of the generation. Right? I don't understand how you can have a run like that with that championship and then proceed to come back and have such a mid-run as the OTC. Roman Reigns should have won the world title. He should have won the Ula Fala back. He should have actually apologized, you know what I'm saying, to his OG bloodline of Sammy, Jay, and Jimmy, you know what I'm saying, for the stuff he had done back in the days of like 2021 to 2023, right? And over that, you know, span of 5 to 6 months when he first came back, by now, right, for Mania time, it'll now been 8 months, I guess. He should have won a world title and have the Ula Fala as well. You understand? Why is Gunther holding the belt hostage for 8 months when Roman Reigns could just take the belt? And now if you're going to do a face versus face versus face triple threat match with Rollins, Punk, and Roman, you'd actually have something on the line. What makes no sense to me as I'm making this video, this is actually starting to irritate me, right? You know what I'm saying? Listen to this for a second. Rhea Ripley comes back on Raw, right? Forces herself into that into a triple threat now, probably between her, Bianca, and Io for the world championship, okay? She just lost clean last week, and now she said it was her fault. Now she's forcing herself back into that world title picture, okay? John Cena gets to declare himself for the Elimination Chamber, wins the Chamber, right? He gets to declare it without even qualifying for the match. You have Paul Heyman, who has random favors which aren't explained at all, that can randomly get CM Punk special opportunities and special main event opportunities, right? With no explanation for it at all. But he's the wise man to Roman Reigns, but Roman Reigns has no power to force himself to get a world championship match or anything for 5 months? Are you kidding me? Where's the rematch clause? He has a 4-year championship reign, carries the company, and he can't even get a rematch with Cody for that belt? What? He has to fight for 5 months to take a Ula Fala back for the jobber that is Solo Sikoa? This is what we're doing? Like, Roman should have pinned Solo in like 15 minutes. They should have had a one-on-one at Bad Blood, you know what I'm saying, in a tribal combat or bloodline rules, whatever the heck, to finally end this feud and just get it over with, you know? Roman Reigns should have came back, gotten the Ula Fala, beaten Gunther, or even beaten Jey Uso for the world title for all I care at a Saturday Night Main Event or at Royal Rumble in a match, in a Tribal Combat match, or even at Elimination Chamber in a Tribal Combat match. You know, whatever happened. And then Rollins or Punk could have won either the Chamber or the Rumble, and then you would have Rollins versus Punk or Rollins versus Roman, right? You know what I'm saying? Which would be finally a bookend of that feud. Could have been a last man standing or an I Quit match to main event for the World Heavyweight Championship on night 1 of Mania. That's what should have happened. But instead, we're going to get a face versus face versus face match for nothing.
Well, Seth Rollins is supposed to be heel this year, so I don't know about that. It's more like face, face, and heel. But, yeah, I mean, it's more like that, you know, more like that. You know, just like Triple H and versus Shawn Michaels versus Chris Benoit, 2 faces and 1 heel, you know, at WrestleMania 20. So it's mostly like that, just without the belt.
You know? Absolutely egregious. Again, CM Punk's dream of main eventing WrestleMania, you know what I'm saying, and winning World Championship gold still has not even been realized. If you main event night 1 in a meaningless triple threat, that adds nothing. You know what I'm saying? Who cares? You not main eventing night 1 is not main eventing WrestleMania. Main eventing night 2 is main eventing WrestleMania. You get what I'm saying? So in the whole three match, triple threat thing with Punk, Rollins, and Roman has so many plot holes which we'll break down later, but that's not what this is about. This is about the fact that Roman Reigns as the OTC was supposed to be an incredible redemption arc, a return to being a babyface that had different levels to it and layers of storytelling, but instead, nothing has changed. You get what I'm saying? Other than the fact that they've weakened him, they've made him look lesser, and he does not feel like the OG elite peak tribal chief Roman Reigns that he's supposed to feel like as far as I'm concerned. Now, first off, we need to talk about the OG Bloodline reunion, which was absolutely rushed and unnecessary, and it made Roman look absolutely weak. Number one, when Roman comes back, he started fighting against Solo Sikoa at SummerSlam, right? And Cody Rhodes was able to retain his championship at SummerSlam because of Roman Reigns' interference. And he points at the championship, he points at Cody, he's like, I'm coming for that belt. So I'm like, okay, we may get Cody Rhodes versus Roman Part 3, or we'll at least get Roman, getting the Ulafala back and then trying, to win a world title, whether it be on Raw or on SmackDown. Then we follow that up with multiple SmackDowns where Roman Reigns basically goes out and gets destroyed by Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga. You understand? This is absolutely ridiculous, right? Roman Reigns is Roman Reigns. There's no scenario. I don't care if you're trying to do a long game bloodline story. I don't give a crap. Roman Reigns should never be getting beat down in the ring by Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa and occasionally Jacob Fatu, right? And Tonga Loa. Are you out of your mind? Bacha Loa. Right? It just doesn't make any sense. The fact that Roman Reigns was made to look like this is just embarrassing, And then he takes some breaks because let's be honest, right? Unfortunately, there was some personal tragedy that was taking place in the Anoa'i family, with his father and his uncle, and I'm sure there was other losses in the family as well. So Roman obviously had to take some time off, and I understand that, right? So, they had to write him off with the injuries. But the constant beating down week over week is just ridiculous to me. I thought it was absolutely insane. If he doesn't want to show up and he can't show up because of the family matters, which is more important, I understand that, then just don't show up. No one would blame you. It's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. You know what I'm saying? Take your time. But the fact that they actually had him go out there just to get beat down week after week for like 3 weeks is embarrassing. You get what I'm saying? And then you follow that up, he returns, and then he has a contract, right? A contract to fight Solo and Jacob Fatu for what? For what? And then Cody Rhodes comes back, right? Cody Rhodes asks Roman Reigns, hey, you need me to sign that contract because I respect you and I like, what are you doing? And then we get Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is putting his hand out, looking for bird feed from Roman Reigns, because without Roman Reigns or any important star, Cody Rhodes is never main eventing a PLE, and we know this, unless the PLE has absolutely no one on it. You get what I mean? So that's the fact. Then we get Cody and Roman versus Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu at Bad Blood for quite literally nothing. You know what I'm saying? How in the world has the Ulafala even been taken from Roman Reigns? Yeah, he lost the championship at WrestleMania, but why does the Ulafala have to be taken as well? Like, if Roman Reigns has been the tribal chief bestowed upon him, right, by Alpha and Sika, you understand? That's how he got the Ulafala. How do you get from that point, you lose one match in 4 or 5 years, and all of a sudden you just lose the Ulafala? Well, that's how this works now, right? And then he's fighting back to get something that he never lost? He's taking back his title that he never lost? Yeah. Come on, man. That doesn't make any sense, and it makes Roman look weak. He now has to go back and feud with an undercard jobber like Solo, who's about to get jobbed out by Jacob Fatu at WrestleMania. And then after this tag match with Cody, they beat Solo. Roman pins Solo specifically, okay? And then you get to the next thing, which was Crown Jewel. By the way, at the end of this, The Rock came out, right, and put up the 3 fingers, and nothing came from it. What exactly was this for? Look, he put up the John Cena symbol, I guess. I'm saying? That's all I can say about this, because I don't even know what this means. I guess they were teasing something with Rock, Roman, and Cody, but obviously everything fell through, and The Rock's not showing up at Mania, at least not as a competitor, so it is what it is. Then we get to Crown Jewel. Roman Reigns makes up with the Usos, I guess. Never apologizes for some reason, because, again, this OTC arc is nothing different. All it is a weakened version of Roman Reigns doing meaningless stories. That's all this OTC arc is, and that's all it's felt like. And I don't like that, How can Roman do so much for this company and have so many great moments and lead them back to somewhat prosperity for a time period, and somehow, some way, you're getting in a situation now where Roman Reigns is doing meaningless stories for nothing? Are you kidding me? And then at Crown Jewel, he gets pinned by Solo Sikoa. Is it are we kidding? Are we serious? Roman Reigns, who's lost 1 match in 5 years, is getting pinned by Solo Sikoa. You know, it's just egregious, and it makes no sense. They had Solo pin him so that Solo could potentially look like a threat, just for Solo to get pinned at Survivor Series in the War Games match, and then just for him to get pinned on Raw on Netflix, and then just for Solo to get nearly pinned by Braun Strowman on SmackDown last week, and then Solo's obviously going to get pinned by Jacob Fatu at WrestleMania. So what is this? What did this accomplish? I genuinely am curious, other than making Roman look weak and look like a bum, what did this do? Nothing. Then you get to Survivor Series. This was obviously a rushed build. You know what I'm saying? They built it in like 3 or 4 weeks, right? Brunson Reed and CM Punk were involved for some odd reason. Paul Heyman has to sell out and owe Punk a favor for Punk helping them win a meaningless War Games match, which again makes no sense. Like, there's just so many plot holes. Why is this so convoluted? What happened to the intricacy, the storytelling layers, the great segments, you know what I'm saying, the consistency of the bloodline, right? Have they dragged it out too much? I don't know at this point, because now they're really struggling to book it in many facets. But Roman Reigns shows up in War Games. Him, the Usos, Sammy Uso, and CM Punk end up getting the W, you know what I'm saying, for Team OG Bloodline, and they beat the new Bloodline. This then sets up Roman Reigns versus Solo Sikoa at January 6th Raw on Netflix, the premiere, okay? Now, the fact is this, right? This January 6th episode, when he won the Ula Fala back, this match I thought was fun. You know what I mean? It was a fun match, you know what I'm saying, with a predictable result. Obviously, we knew Roman was going to take back the Ula Fala, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, Roman Reigns now, it's from August to January, and he's just now getting the Ula Fala back. You get what I mean? They wasted 5 months of Roman Reigns. The Bloodline versus the new Bloodline versus OG Bloodline match at Survivor Series literally changed absolutely nothing. You understand? It did nothing. It did nothing to help Roman Reigns. It did nothing to help Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa is now an undercard jobber in close matches where he's nearly losing to Braun Strowman and like Carmelo Hayes, right? So Solo clearly has downgraded since, you know what I mean? And then you also have the situation where Roman Reigns now, amidst all of this, is just now finally getting back the Ula Fala. Are you kidding me? He had to fight to take back something that he never rightfully lost in the first place. It just doesn't make any sense, you know, so I thought that was absolutely ridiculous. Then you have The Rock be the person to come out and bestow the Ula Fala back on Roman Reigns. That again, Roman Reigns never rightfully lost the Ula Fala, so why is it being bestowed back upon him? You know, it doesn't work. And Solo Sikoa not being a believable tribal chief or a believable top heel just isn't working, you know? And it's seen by Jacob Fatu lapping him in star power, being over in terms of quality and skills in ring and out of the ring in a span of like a couple months. So it's not fair, man. And now Roman Reigns has the Ula Fala, okay? It's past January 6th, and after he wins the Ula Fala, we're told backstage in a Paul Heyman segment that he's going to try and show up on January 27th. And does Roman Reigns show up on January 27th for Raw? No, he didn't show up at all. Paul Heyman came out and talked about Roman being on the cover of 2K25, and that's great, right? But the fact that Roman Reigns is not on the show at all from January 6th Raw on Netflix to Royal Rumble is egregious. You know what I'm saying? We know Roman Reigns isn't going to win the Rumble if he's not showing up. So it's as simple as that. And then you also have a situation where Roman Reigns, along with not showing up until the Rumble, once he showed up at the Rumble, he was in it for maybe 10 minutes, did nothing of meaning, and got stomped out by Seth Rollins. And now you fast forward, and Roman Reigns has not even showed up since until a couple days ago on Raw. Like, what are we doing with this guy? You know, I understand that The Rock was obviously the big plan for this year's WrestleMania. You know, it was supposed to be Rock and Roman. They were going to build a long-term story to it. They had elements that would have been very entertaining. You know what I'm saying? Final Boss Rock versus OTC Roman Reigns. But the fact is that before any of this, Roman Reigns' OTC arc that's supposed to make him like a face or an anti-hero, it hasn't felt like that. Maybe it will going forward with this triple threat situation with Rollins and Punk and Roman, but they're all faces as far as I'm concerned. Roman Reigns has not done anything that a heel would do, you know, and he hasn't done anything that's really made any sense long term as far as I'm concerned. But clearly they were trying to get Roman and Rock to be the main event of Mania 41, and obviously that couldn't happen. And now because it couldn't happen, it's like Roman Reigns is just floating around on an island of irrelevancy, just doing nothing. You know, what does this face versus face versus face triple threat match accomplish? Right? The whole situation of it is just meaningless. So we're going to talk about that very quickly in a second. But I just want to quickly touch on the fact that Roman Reigns just simply feels like a singles competitor now that has nothing to do. Right? He comes out, whenever he comes out, yeah, it elevates things. He has the aura, you know what I'm saying? He has all the presence. Roman Reigns is awesome. We get all of this stuff. But the problem is that his story and his character arc currently is not awesome. It just isn't. He isn't doing anything, and he's not showing up at all, and when he does show up, they waste his time with meaningless garbage in 90% of the scenarios since he's come back. So I don't understand what the booking is with Roman Reigns. I just don't understand it, right? And even if he were to win this triple threat match, because obviously he's not going to win this match, but even if he were to win this match, what would it accomplish? You know, his feud with Seth Rollins is still going to be outstanding because, you know what I'm saying, they still have to take care of that, right? It has to be a 1v1 definitive Roman versus Seth match. And instead, they're going to force Punk into it for no odd reason. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins have been having beef legitimately in the company for a decade. Not a beef that's been happening over Twitter and then just started being, you know, in IRL in the ring like a year ago between Punk and Rollins. You get what I mean? This is not realistic. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins should be main eventing night one in an I Quit match or in a last man standing match to definitively shut off this chapter, and so we can set up Roman versus Rock finally next year, or maybe never. You know what I'm saying? But there should be some sort of definitive ending to that, and it should have happened this year. Roman has nothing else to do. You might as well have him just feud with Seth Rollins and get this out of the way. You know, have them show up consistently for the next 5-6 weeks. Roman has Rollins night one main event, last man standing match, and that's it. If Punk isn't going to main event for a title or main event for anything, then why is he main eventing? It just doesn't work, you know? So now we have to talk about another elephant in the room. The fact that Roman Reigns is not main eventing this WrestleMania, specifically the Night 2 main event, lets you know everything you need to know about how this disaster of his booking has played out. There's no way you go from main eventing every single year, right? And you're still the top guy. Nothing has changed about Roman except for the fact that his booking is worse, obviously, right? And he doesn't have the championship. Everything else in terms of his star power, his intrigue, his mainstream attraction, him being the biggest star in the company, that's still the same. Everything's the same except for the fact that he doesn't have the belt and that his booking hasn't been good, you know? So that lets you know that it's all a booking predicated disaster. The simple idea that Roman Reigns did not come back and at Bad Blood, he didn't just face Solo immediately for the Ula Fala and beat the crap out of him, pin him in like 15 to 20 minutes, take the Ula Fala back, and then at Crown Jewel, you have him versus Jacob Fatu maybe in some meaningless match, and then at what's it called, at Saturday Night Main Event, you have him take the title off of Gunther. That's what should have happened. You understand? And once he takes the belt off of Gunther, he now has the Ula Fala, he has the World Championship, right? Or even the WWE title if you wanted to give it to him instead of Cody. And then at this situation, at this point, you now have Roman Reigns. We're going to be main eventing either night one or night two with the World title or the WWE title, either versus John Cena, right? Versus Seth Rollins, who could have won the Rumble, or even versus CM Punk. You know, that's what should have happened. Instead, we are getting a face versus face versus face for nothing. And it's absolutely ridiculous. And the thing is, lastly, talking about where Roman Reigns is now.
I mean, I get the idea of it, but I think Jey Uso versus Gunther is a good match to me. But I understand people are not going to be hyped as much because they know the prediction. But I think seeing Jey win his first ever world title is, you know, important. And I think I would definitely love to see that. I mean, even if it's the opening night, but I understand the vision of it. But, you know, it is what it is, right? So,
which obviously Roman Reigns is in booking purgatory. They have nothing to do with him. And again, WWE doesn't know what it means to give it to their top stars, right? Give the belt to their top stars. You know, it's just absolutely ridiculous. There's no other way around it anymore, right? Roman Reigns, they could have easily had Roman Reigns take one of the world titles, and then Jey Uso, instead of winning the Royal Rumble, you have him and Jimmy versus Fatu and Solo, right? Or Fatu or someone else. You know, they could have easily made it, or the Usos finally win back tag team gold. You know, you could have done that as well. Jey Uso just doesn't have it to be a single star. He's super over, I get that, but giving him a world title now when he should have already held it months ago, you know, it's just ridiculous. You could have realistically had Jey Uso win the world title versus Gunther at Saturday Night Main Event, have him hold it for a couple months, and then Roman Reigns just comes back and beats him for the title in a family versus family match. But then that would be contradictory to the poorly built up garbage that they did for Survivor Series War Games. So no matter what, you booked yourself into a corner, and now we're seeing the dividends of it, paying out with Roman Reigns doing absolutely nothing on a week-to-week basis, and then when he does come back, he's doing meaningless feuds and meaningless matches. And now, obviously, with this triple threat, this is a meaningless match. Roman Reigns is either going to get turned on by Paul Heyman, or he's going to turn on Paul Heyman and maybe win this match. There's really not many options. The goal is for CM Punk to main event night one in a meaningless triple threat, which again, he had goals of main eventing for a title and main eventing night two and doing all these big things. And now he's going to have to settle for a quote unquote Paul Heyman favor, which again, what is his favor? In what world does Paul Heyman have the power now to just dictate who's in main events? You know what I'm saying? Did Rhea Ripley need a favor to force herself into a triple threat with Io and Bianca for the world title at Mania? No. So why does Paul Heyman have to force a favor for Punk to get into a main event match? Are you kidding me? This is how it works now, you know? And I'm like, how did Paul Heyman even get enough power for this favor? He has no power anymore. Roman Reigns is a guy without a belt, and he's Roman Reigns' servant or his wise man. So what power does Paul Heyman have anymore? He's got political power? With who? Explain it. What is this favor? How did he get it? Why is it important? You know, why is he helping Punk with this favor? Because Punk helped him win a meaningless War Games match that nobody cares about anymore? That's what we're doing? Right? It's just, this whole thing is dumb. You know, and Roman Reigns, we don't know how many years he has left wrestling because, you know, obviously with this part-time schedule, he's not going to be there that much, you know? So the fact that this is what we're doing when he is here is really embarrassing. You're wasting what could potentially be one of his final 5 years in the company, you know what I mean? Or maybe even 10 years, whatever. But you're wasting one of his final years at this state and at this hype that he has. So I just don't understand the process of it. I think Roman Reigns' OTC arc has been plagued by awful booking, monotonous shows, and monotonous storytelling that has literally contributing to elongating stories that should have been done in 2 months. And that's just really the simple facts, at least as far as I'm concerned with his story. You know what I mean? He should have been able to fast track this. And what should be happening is he should be main eventing night 1 versus Seth Rollins in a last man standing match or an I Quit match for the World Heavyweight Championship. That's what should be happening. You understand? But instead, we're sitting in a situation where we're going to have to watch Roman Reigns fight CM Punk versus Seth Rollins for literally air. They're fighting for air. You know what I mean? It's just, it's absolutely egregious to me at this point. But you know what? It's expected because WWE's booking has gone down an absolute, drain. And now we have to watch the OTC Roman Reigns when we just got the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, who was absolutely incredible and dang near saved this company. So I just don't understand how we got from that to this, but it is what it is. Let me know what you think of Roman Reigns' current arc in the comment section below. And as always, I hope you guys have a phenomenal day. I thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out and one love.
Well, there you have it. Hey, CJ has some great ideas, man. I mean, but I'll be honest, I don't want to see Jey Uso versus Roman. I really don't. I mean, I would rather see, like Roman Reigns versus Gunther and then see that, you know what I'm saying? But that's just me, But if Jey Uso wins the title, we can't be surprised, right? But this triple threat match should have had some type of title on the line. That's why I wish, this would have been a fatal four-way with Cody or with Gunther, but unfortunately, didn't come to that now, did it? Yeah, man. We just need a new bookkeeper, that's all. Hunter can still run the company, just got to change the bookkeeper, and that's it. Still advertise, but just don't be the bookkeeper. That's all. But y'all comment down below. Let me know what y'all think about this this rant. I don't think it was a rant, but if you, well, actually it was. But if you guys want to, comment down below. Let me know what y'all think about CJax ideas. Do you think that Jey Uso should have won the Saturday night's main event? And do you think that, CM Punk should have had an opportunity for the title at WrestleMania 41? Or do you think that, Roman Reigns is getting booked incorrectly? Y'all comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Get in the comment box. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. And the only match, I already told y'all what matches I want to see at WrestleMania 41, so the rest don't even matter. But, but y'all can comment down below and let me know, all right? Well, what y'all think about this. I'm out.